Hello students, welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today we'll be studying the second portion of the play On the Face of It. This is one of the chapters of Vista's textbook for class 12. I'm sure you must have visited the earlier video in which we have covered the first 4 pages of the chapter. This video will be covering the next 4 pages of the chapter. So I'm just about to share my screen. So here we are. Last time we had read till here. Just a minute, I'll get rid of this panel, the floating meeting controls. So we were talking about all is relative, Beauty and the Beast. What's that supposed to mean? And he then gets into a conversation. Mr. Lamb and Derry continue with the conversation, and Derry starts making very sarcastic remarks that I've heard all those stories about handsome is that handsome does, and what is a beautiful heart. And so I'm going on to the next page over here. Beauty loved the monstrous beast for himself. Everybody has heard about Beauty and the Beast. And when she kissed him, he changed into a handsome prince. Only he wouldn't, he'd have stayed a monstrous beast. And I won't change. So this is what he's saying. So, what does Derry say? Derry, a 14-year-old boy, says, I have heard about the story Beauty and the Beast, where the beast is kissed by a beautiful girl and he turns into a handsome prince. He says that is just in fairy tales. The point is that he will never ever change into a beautiful boy. So Mr. Lamb said, well, if you have that perspective in mind, definitely you won't. And Derry is here. Understand, this is a boy who had entered a garden to be alone. He didn't like meeting people. He didn't like talking. But here he striked a conversation with Mr. Lamb, and he is even expressing very deep thoughts with him. He says, nobody's going to kiss me. Only my mother is going to kiss me, and that too, she's going to kiss me on the other side of the face. And that too, because she has to, because she's my mother. Now, he's so hurt in in his heart that Derry even doubts the pure love of his mother. So he says that it's okay. He's full of he's sad, he's angry, and he's trying to defend his position and say by saying that even if my mom doesn't kiss me, it won't matter. If nobody ever kisses me, it won't matter. So she then Mr. Lamb says, but if you don't matter, if it doesn't matter that nobody kisses you, don't you ever want to kiss anybody? He said, what? Pretty girls, long hairs and large eyes, people you love? Oh, who would let me? Not even one. So Derry here also is expressing that he has no faith in himself, he has no faith in humanity, he also doesn't have anything to look forward to. So Mr. Lamb says, well, how can you decide whether somebody would like to allow you to kiss him, her, or not? So he says, I won't ever look different. When I'm old as you, I look the same. I'll still only have half a face. Half a face. That means people are going to only look at that half. So Mr. Lamb says, you will continue to have half a face, no doubt. He's not giving him false hope. But he says the world doesn't have half a face. The world's got a whole face. You have to just look at it. By this, he means that the world is, you are only looking at those people who look at you with negativity, those who look at you with a scornful look. You have to look at those people and acknowledge the presence of those other half of the world who doesn't bother about how you look. The other half of the world who wants to kiss you, the other half of the world who doesn't, is not affected by the way you look. So you think, so daddy is still trying to be skeptical, and you think that this world, where does this world exist? Is this garden your world? Do you think the world exists only in this limited area? He says, well, Mr. Lamb says, when I'm here, that's the world. It's not the only one, but my world is where I go. So he doesn't have an answer to that. But Daddy seems to be still intrigued. And he says, does your leg hurt you? And he says, obviously, tin hurts. Then he gets into a conversation and he's saying, when it came off, did it hurt you? He said, yes. And then he goes on and says, where the tin stops, does it hurt you? He says, yes, it does every now and then in the wet weather. It hurts me more. And but that's something okay, it doesn't signify. And then Daddy comes back to his own sarcasm again. Again, I know, I have heard people telling me, look at all those people who are in pain and brave and never cry and never complain and don't feel sorry for themselves. I've heard all these directions and these advices that have been given to me. So again, there's that hurt, that anger, that sarcasm that Daddy is portraying here. But Mr. Lamb says, I didn't say that. You yourself are saying that. I know. And then he continues with his sarcasm and he says that, look at all those people who are worse off than you. You might have been blinded or born deaf or have to have lived in a wheelchair or be daft in your head and dribble. Daft means you're not in your senses, you're a bit crazy, you don't have your mind in control. So Daddy is again on a sarcastic road and he's saying that I know everybody has told me you are pretty lucky, you should be grateful, and definitely look at those people who have less than you. Oh God, all that blah blah blah. Well, Mr. Lam says, what's wrong in it? It's all true. Don't you know that? And it won't make my face change. So Derry has a very fixated idea, very fixated perspective, which is not going to change so easily. And he says, he narrates an incident. He says, one day I was passing by and there was a woman at the bus stop and she was with another woman and she looked at me and said and whispered. Now the catch is only I heard her. And she said, look at that. That's a terrible thing. That's a face only a mother could love. Now, Daddy heard that and it stayed with him all these years. So Mr. Lamb said, do you believe everything you hear? Oh, it was cruel, wasn't it? So he said, maybe not meant to be cruel. Why was it not meant to be cruel? Because it was something that was whispered amongst them, the two of them, between both of them. It was not meant to be heard by you, it was whispered. It was just something said between them. It was not intended to be heard by you. And if they intended it to be cruel, they would have said it loud enough, intentionally driving it at you. But Terry said, I heard it. He said, is that the only thing you've ever heard? Mr. Lamb is asking. Oh, he said, no, no, I've heard a lot of things. When Derry says I've heard a lot of things, he's only referring to the negative things he's heard. So he says, Mr. Lamb makes one comment, and that makes him think. So now you keep your ears shut. When you believe everything, you choose to believe everything negative. When I'm telling you the positive aspect of life, you intend not to hear it and not to believe it. So Daddy again doesn't have answers. He says, you're very strange, you're peculiar, and you ask questions that I don't understand at all. Mr. Lamb, I like to talk. I have company. You don't have to answer questions. You don't have to stop here at all. The gate's open. I'm not forcing you. Derry says, yes, but I have a hive of bees behind those trees over there. Some hear bees and they say bees buzz. That means they find it an irritating sound. But when you listen to the bees for a long time, I say they hum. And therefore, for me, the bees don't buzz, the bees sing. I hear them singing. So it's all about perspective, how you want to take what the world throws at you. So he's trying to make Derry understand that when you are looking, when you hear things and you believe it, why are you selective in hearing and believing only the negative things that are told? Why don't you hear and believe the good things that are told? Why do you look at the world that has only a half face? The world is complete with people who may have a negative approach towards you, and also people who would try to boost your confidence. But I like it here, he says, because Mr. Lamb says, "You, I'm not stopping you, you can go. I like it here. I came in here because I liked it when I looked over the wall. If you had seen me, you would have never come in." No, no, it would have been trespassing. Oh, that's not why. I don't like being near people. When they stare, when I see them being afraid of me. So here he is questioning, what is the reason you would not have come? He said, because I don't like being. Derry says, I would not have come because it would have been trespassing had I seen you. Then he says, oh no, that's not the reason why. Mr. Lamb is able to pinpoint that that's not the reason why Derry would not have entered the garden. The reason is that he doesn't like people. And that's what Derry is able to share with Mr. Lamb. You could lock yourself up in a room and never leave it. There was a man who did that. He was afraid, you see. So he's giving another anecdote, another analogy, and he's saying, and this man was so afraid that a bus might run over him, somebody would breathe deadly germs on him, a donkey might kick him, lightning might strike him. He may love a girl, the girl may not love him and leave him, and then he might slip on a banana, fall, and then people who would look at him would laugh their heads off. He went into his room and locked his door and stayed in his bed, and he stayed there forever, for a while. Then what did he do? Said Diary. Well, nothing. A picture fell off the wall onto his head and killed him. Derry laughs a lot. I think so. This is the first time that Derry is enjoying the company of somebody. So Mr. Lamb has been able to strike a relation with Derry, gain his confidence, talk with him, influence him, and let's see how he influences him. You see, but you still say peculiar things, peculiar to some. What do you do all day? So Mr. Lamb says, I sit in the sun, I read books. And it's an empty house, but inside it's full. There are a lot of books and other things. But there aren't any curtains in the windows. Now, this is important. See, what do curtains do? I'm not fond of curtains. Shutting things out, shutting things in. So it shut thing. If I draw the curtains, outside is not visible and inside is not visible. So it shuts things out and shuts things in. So there's no possibility of any transaction. I like the light and the darkness and the windows open to hear the wind. Yes, I also like it. When it's raining, I like to hear it on the roof. Oh, so Mr. Lamb says you're not lost, not altogether. You do hear things. You do listen. This is a comment that is made when Derry says that I like listening to the pitter patter of the rain on the rooftop. Derry says they talk about me downstairs when I'm not there. They here refer to the parents. They are worried. They say, what will he ever do? What's going to happen to him when we've gone? However, will he get on in this world? Looking at like that, with that on his face. That's what they say. Okay? So Mr. Lamb says, you've got two arms, two legs, two eyes and ears. You've got a tongue and a brain. Why do you have to feel so much pity about yourself? You can do anything you want to do like the rest. And if that is, if you set your mind to it, you could get on better than all the rest. How? The same way as I do. So Denny says, "Do you have friends?" I have hundreds, but you live at your by yourself in that house. It's a big house. I have friends everywhere. People come in, people go. The gates open. They come and sit here in front of the fire in the winter. Kids come for the apple and the pear, the toffee. I make toffee with honey. Anybody comes. So have you, but I'm not a friend. Now, certainly you are. So far as I am concerned, what have you done to make me think you're not a friend? You don't know me. You don't even know my name. So Mr. Lamb says, is that important? Do I have to write down all your particulars down, put them in a filing box before you can be my friend? He said, no. You could tell me your name if you chose, only if you want to. And then he says, I'm Derry, but it's Derek. And I don't like that name. So you can call me Derry and I'm your friend, but you don't have to be mine. I choose that. Certainly, that's up to you what you choose. I might never come here. You might never see me again, and then I couldn't be a friend. But why not? See, you pass around so many people on the way. Are all of them your friends? So he says, if they're not my friends, they're not even my enemies. They're just nothing. People, that's all. People are never just not nothing. There are some people I hate. That'll do you more harm than any bottle of acid. So you don't have to hate anybody because that is going to eat you up. The acid has only burnt your face, but hate is going to actually eat up your soul. Only like a bomb blew up my leg. There's worse things that could have happened. I could have burnt myself away inside by thinking about the burnt leg. After I'll come home, one person said he'd have been better off stopping in there, in the hospital where he'd been better off with others like him. She said that blind people ought to be with other blind people and idiot boys with other idiot boys. He said, what about people with legs? No legs altogether. That's right. So, everybody who has some disability, all of them should be together. That's the whole idea. So he says, what kind of a world would that be? He says, Daddy says that at least nobody would stare at you because you weren't like them. So this here comes the relevance of the title. You think you're just the same as all other people with burnt faces, and I'm just the same as all of other people with a tin leg, or those who are lame. Well, what apparently seems to be may not necessarily be. People, both, for example, both of them are suffering from a disability, but look at the drastic contrast of their approach towards life. So, all that seems to be may not be. Another thing I'd like to refer to, I'll go back to the last page. Here, it seems here Mr. Lamb is making a statement that he has hundreds of friends. He has friends everywhere. People come and go, but actually they don't. It appears that Mr. Lamb is very popular amongst the people, and people come and visit him. Children come and sit there, eat the jelly and the toffees. But towards the end, we get an insight about Mr. Lamb that he says that they never come back. That means those who visit him don't actually come back. So, on the face of it, it may seem that Mr. Lamb is a very popular person amongst the people over there, but he's actually a very lonely person. But at the same time, he has not allowed anything to pull him down, anything to make him feel sad and upset. So he says that if people who are suffering from the same disability are put together, you think that it would be fine. It is not fine because all of them will not behave in the same manner. They will not have the same perspective towards life. Just having some disability doesn't mean that their thought process would also be the same. How do you make all that out? He says, I like watching. So Derry is really influenced, and he is curious to know that how does he talk in that manner. These are things that nobody has ever talked to him about. That's why he says you say peculiar things. I watch, I listen, and I think. He reads a lot. Remember, he has a number of books in his house. I'd like a place like this, says Terry. A garden. I'd like a house with no curtains. The gate is always open, but this isn't mine. That means this garden isn't mine. Everything is yours if you want it. What's mine is anybody's. So he is welcoming everybody, whoever passes by. So I could come here again, he said. Even if you were out, I could come here. He said, yes, you may. And that is if nobody stops you. I'd stop them. They'd mind me when they saw me here. That means if people come here, they may stop coming because I have started visiting you. Because of my face, they would not stop coming and they would run away. So in this portion of the in today's video, this is where I'm going to take your leave, and I'll like you to read the chapter, the portion covered again, so that we can continue with the rest of the chapter. And definitely it is going to benefit you if you visit the next video only after visiting the earlier two videos. So, good day, children, and continue visiting my channel. Bye bye.